So welcome to this presentation about the safe and sound protocol. So the safe and sound protocol is actually using sound, more specifically specially filtered music, to regulate the vagus nerve. So I'm going to explain a little bit more in detail what it's all about, but first let's listen to this small recording with a video. So why did I show you this video? So this instrument is actually a talking drum, and a talking drum is a drum on which you can change the tension of the skin, which allows the sound to be different. So when you are putting more tension on the skin, the sound will sound higher. And when you let it relax, then the sound will be lower. So if you look at this screen here, you can see that you have the outer ear. So this is the part of the ear that you can actually see from the outside. And you reach the tympanic eardrum, the eardrum. Then you have the middle ear here with these small bones here, and you have the middle ear muscles. And here you have the inner ear, which is hidden here behind, and you have the brain. So we're gonna have a special interest for the middle ear because these muscles here, they act a little bit like this musician that you've seen changing the tension of the skin. It's about the same for the ear. So these muscles, when they contract, they change the tension of this whole, if I may say, machinery, which actually allows the lower sound to be dampened. So if they contract properly, if there is sound coming here from the outer ear, from the world, if there is sound coming here, the lower sound will be less heard, which will allow the sound of voice to be more easily understood. So it's a bit schematic. It's not exactly how it is, but just a way to understand that the ear is a little bit functioning like this example of the talking drum. So now I'm going to play a recording that I made. So in this, what I call the restaurant experiment, and in this experiment, there may be parts where you don't understand what is said, and it's on purpose, because probably when you hear my voice less accurately, it's because I'm trying to kind of mimic what would happen, what would you perceive if your middle ear muscles are not functioning properly. So let's go and listen to this experiment. So in this experiment, I want to show you what happens when I remove certain frequencies from the sound. So this is unfiltered. So my voice is kind of mixed with the background noise of this restaurant. And now we are going to see what happens if suddenly my ears are not functioning properly, and lower frequencies are more present in my ear, which is what is happening when the muscles are not functioning properly. So as you can hear. So now let's go to another version of this where I'm gonna, let's say, activate my inner muscles by removing the lower frequencies from the background. And as you can hear, now the sound is suddenly more, the sound of what I'm saying, the articulation, the consonant, and everything is way more clear, and I can suddenly understand. Um, you can suddenly understand the sound of my voice. So, as you have heard, there was a first part where nothing was filtered. It was just my voice plus the background noise, and it was kind of hard to understand what I'm saying. Then I just put all the lower frequencies, like they were like more present in your perception, and in that example you couldn't hear much. And in the last example, what I did is kind of playing the role of these middle ear muscles, is to dampen the lower sound and make the mid frequencies and high frequencies more understandable. So in that way, you could understand better what was happening in my voice. And it is actually what is happening in a healthy, if you have a healthy functioning system, your middle ear muscles are working and your lower frequencies will be dampened. Whereas if your middle ear muscles are not working properly, the speech is lost in the low frequencies. So in a stressful situation, which could be a disease or constant state of inflammation or reaction to stress, the neural tone of your middle ear muscle is compromised, which means lower frequencies are enhanced. And if you look at it in evolutionary way, and you actually the detection of predators is maximized. If you hear a lion roaring, you can understand that it's a very low sound. And if you are in nature, it would be in a stressful situation. It would be better for you if you hear the lower sound better. But in our everyday life, it's better to be in a balanced. How can I say it? It's better for you to have your middle ear muscles functioning in a balanced way, because what you need to hear and perceive is other people. So now it's time for me to introduce the polyvagal theory, which is named after the vagus nerve. And what is the vagus nerve? It's the nerve that regulates a lot of our bodily functions. We could talk about the heart, the circulation, the breathing, and many more things. And as a function of evolution, we can say that humans and other mammals have a new vagal pathway that links the regulation of bodily state to the control of the muscles of the face and head, including the middle ear muscles. So if we look at the polyvagal theory model, there are three states. One is fight and flight, one is freeze, and we have what I just talked about, this new vagal pathway, which is called the ventral pathway. And it helps me to introduce the social engagement system, because all these pathways that are regulating our body state are connected to everything pertaining to facial gesture, listening, and vocal communication. So all these things function collectively, and they're called the social engagement system. So As a way to reach this social engagement system, the Safe and Sound protocol is intervening on one component of this system, and it's the middle ear muscles. And by uh, intervening on these middle ear muscles with specially filtered music, we may impact other components of this system. So the Safe and Sounds protocol's effectiveness has been proven in a wide range of studies, most notably in 2 clinical trials involving children with autism spectrum disorder, and trial participants demonstrated statistically significant improvements in emotional control, behavioral organization, hearing sensitivity, and listening. If you want to know more about these studies, I'll put a link in the description where you can go see the studies for yourself. So what we are looking at when doing the Safe and Sound protocol is three things: feel better, think better, and connect better. So feel better, feel more safe, calm, grounded, and resilient. Think better, think more clearly, attentively, creatively, and connect better. So, which means connect more openly, genuinely, and wholly. So, how does this happen? This Safe and Sound protocol is 5 hours of listening to these specially filtered music, usually in half an hour bits. So, which means usually 10 sessions plus 1 or 2 sessions to first assess the needs of the participant, and another session at the end of this 5 hours listening to assess how it's going and how we are going to proceed. Then we wait for 6 to 8 weeks. In that time frame, we let the nervous autonomic system reorganize itself. And then we go back to another 5 hours of listening, usually in also 10 sessions. So it can be done in the same room, but it can also be done remotely. So if you want to know more, of course, you can go to my website, and I'll also put a link to the Unite website, which is hosting the protocol, and there you can find a lot of researches about the polyvagal theory. So if you have more questions, don't hesitate to send me a message. I'll be happy to answer your question.